of the Piscataway people. My father faced many challenges as an immigrant to the United States. His failure to adjust to life in America and his inability to carve a path forward as a Korean in a white man's world were both factors in the breakup of our family. Despite these significant challenges, my mother's deep commitment to her children and her spiritual strength equipped her to keep our family together. She worked long hours at an inner-city carryout, complete with bulletproof plexiglass. She would follow this day job with a night shift at an inner-city nursing home, working as a nurse's aide. Despite working these long hours, money was always short, so our family was on food stamps and the school free lunch program for several years. Years later, a United States president would label single moms who received help from the government as welfare queens, with a strong implication of their laziness. I know of no single human being who worked harder than my mother to keep her family together. To this day, I am stunned by the power of the collective imagination to embrace a false narrative that became the norm for many Americans. For our family, connection to our immigrant church community and commitment to education served as the way out of the hood. The Korean immigrant church of my youth provided for our family the spiritual resources of a faith community that embodied Christ. The immigrant church arose from a context of struggle, pain, and suffering. Even in the midst of these struggles, this church would thrive and grow as it sought to serve and lift up the oftentimes downtrodden of our society. Education was valued in our home and in the Korean immigrant church. As a consequence, I have spent an inordinate amount of time in school. I have pursued theological studies, partially as a result of how education and faith have intersected in my life. I have had the distinct pleasure of serving multi-ethnic and multicultural Christian communities, often in the urban context. After many years in pastoral ministry, God directed me toward fulfilling my call to ministry through the academic world, specifically at North Park Theological Seminary, where I have sought to integrate my passion for Christian ministry with academic thought. The co-authors of this book have been friends for many years. We have traveled and ministered in many of the same circles, and have found connection with those who are like-minded and like-passioned. Our connection stems from our mutual love for Jesus and our mutual passion for justice, both of which have found expression in our mutual lament for the church. In our journey together, we have discovered the power of developing common experiences and a common memory, which move us toward a common purpose. Much of this book describes history's impact on the native peoples of North America. Whenever possible, we will refer to the specific tribal names when referring to native communities. In other instances, the terms Native, Native American, and Indigenous people may also be used as more general categories of identification. Occasionally, we will use the term American Indians, which is often referenced in treaties and legislation by the United States federal government. The book is primarily the story of Mark, his people, and their relationship to the church and to the nation. Mark's voice will be front and center in the narrative and will provide the melody, while Soong-Chan's role will be to provide the harmony to complement the main narrative. We hope that this book will serve as a unique chorus of both of our experiences and voices. May it be an expression of the truth we have learned and the power of common memory. The spirituality of the sunrise. I, Mark, remember hearing a Navajo preacher exhort a congregation on our reservation by asking us, how come before the missionaries came, our people were able to wake up every morning to greet the sunrise with our prayers, and now we can hardly get to church by 10 a.m. One of the most beautiful, beneficial, and sacred spiritual disciplines I have incorporated into my life is the discipline of watching the sunrise. It is one thing to watch the sunrise a couple times a year, perhaps on Easter for a sunrise service, or when you have a 6 a.m. flight. Both times are beautiful and calming. If the clouds are just right, the sunrise can be breathtaking. But it is another thing altogether to intentionally rise.